The first two episodes of the Loki series were set to press. I got a chance to watch them. Let me tell you what you can expect from the God of Mischief in this series from Disney Plus right after this. Hey, Outlaw Nation. It's the Outlaw John Rocha back with a non-spoiler review here for Loki, the new series from Marvel and Disney Plus, part of the overall MCU here, and the third series in these shows that Disney Plus has been dropping. Of course, we had WandaVision and The Falcon and The Winter Soldier, which just wrapped up a few weeks ago. Now we're back at it with Loki. This is one that a lot of people were waiting for. We're anticipating. These trailers have really given us an excitement for most of us. I know there are some people who are not 100% excited, but most of us are very excited to see what we're going to get from this series. Before I go forward, just want to remind you all, if you enjoy all the content we do here on the Outlaw Nation channel, please remember to subscribe down below. If you haven't done that yet, hit subscribe, hit that bell button, come and join us here on the Nation as we build out this outlet step by step, piece by piece, be one of the founding bricks of the Outlaw Nation for sure as we do more and more content. And the channel itself will be moving to doing more and more entertainment content for sure. So look for that going forward. So let's jump into this thing. Of course, this comes to us from Marvel and Disney Plus. Michael Waldron created this series, and Mary Herron has been assigned to direct these episodes. Both of these episodes are 51 minutes long. 51 minutes long. So if you were worried that it might be a half an hour with like 7 to 8 minutes or 10 minutes of credits, well, put those worries aside. Well, let's start with the cast here. Of course, Tom Hiddleston coming back as Loki. He is excellent. It is like watching someone come back and do something they were just born to do. It is so great to reappreciate, reacquaint yourself, and just fall back in love with the character of Loki, which so many people enjoyed when the MCU was starting out. Certainly, he was one of the talking points coming out of that first phase of the MCU, and Tom Hiddleston hasn't missed a beat. In fact, I think you could argue, because he's been playing the character for so long, there's now a richness, there's a complexity, there are layers to what Tom Hiddleston is doing with Loki that really make you gravitate to the charm and the dangerous charm of the God of Mischief. And let's keep going with the cast. Owen Wilson is here as well. Owen Wilson is Mobius. Let me tell you something. I just said, how it's great to reappreciate or reacquaint yourself with Loki. It is just as great for those of us who grew up loving Owen Wilson in the movies that he was in, loving his performances and his unique style of comedy. It's great to reappreciate and reacquaint yourself with Owen Wilson as a talent yet again. His chemistry with Tom Hiddleston is just off the charts perfect. Great back and forth. It is absolutely a buddy cop situation with both of these gentlemen in this show. Also, Gugu Mbatha is in here as well. I love her. Always been a fan. Loved her in Concussion. Loved her in numerous other projects. So great to see her having a commanding presence in this show. And also, I got to tell you, a person's name you're going to be hearing a lot from going forward after her work in this series, Wunmi Mosaku. I hope I said that right. Wunmi Mosaku is absolutely stellar in the first two episodes of this series. She has such a commanding presence, such an ease in power and authority with the character that she's playing, that she absolutely steals the first two episodes of this show. All right, so here's the premise of the show. After stealing the Tesseract during the events of Avengers Endgame, an alternate version of Loki is brought to the mysterious Time Variance Authority, a bureaucratic organization that exists outside of time and space and monitors the timeline. They give Loki a choice: face being erased from existence due to being a time variant, or help fix the timeline and stop a greater threat. Loki ends up trapped in his own crime thriller, traveling through time and altering human history. Yeah, let me tell you something. Right off the bat, it's a fantastic show. Really enjoyed the first two episodes. We're absolutely jumping back and forth in time. You can see the budgets and the limits of the budget in certain scenes as we do that. But certainly it's fun to follow Loki and Mobius throughout their essentially buddy cop situation here. All right, let's get into the episodes for the series. Now, episode one here is so interesting because we're picking up, as they kind of retconned in Avengers Infinity War and Endgame, you saw Loki pick up the Tesseract and then disappear, and they set that right after the events of the first Avengers movie. So that's where we're picking up and with Loki and where he ends up. He eventually gets taken by the Time Variance Authority. what we're treated to in the first episode is essentially what the Time Variance Authority is. An introduction into the Time Variance Authority, the experience Loki has with the bureaucracy and red tape, which is very well done in the first episode of the Time Variance Authority. He meets Owen Wilson's Mobius. They have a conversation about what they're going to do, expectations here from Mobius of Loki, because Loki's in trouble here with the stuff that he's been doing, messing with the timelines, messing with all this stuff that he's done in the past. And so he's kind of being taken to task, and goes even in front of a judge at the Time Variance Authority to answer for some of his crimes against the timeline, the main timeline in the show. So all of that is there, and then Owen Wilson comes in as Mobius. He kind of becomes Loki's handler, and you find out that Mobius, aka Owen Wilson, is looking for a time variant criminal, a criminal who is using the timeline to go and commit these crimes and killing people left and right, and he's trying to figure out who it is, and he seeks Loki's help to help him do so. So that's basically the first episode here, and we're getting some stuff with Loki as well, him confronting the stuff he's done in the past, a little more of an exploration of who he is as a person, what makes him tick, why he does the things that he does. And this is one of the surprising things about the show. It's very much about exploring the inner workings of a character like Loki, almost like a therapy show as well as a buddy cop show, which I was really surprised about. And it was a welcome surprise for sure. In the second episode, we get much more of what is happening, what the mystery is. We see Loki kind of being more a part of the Time Variance Authority, more a part of this investigation. And of course, he is the god of mischief, so he tries a couple of tricks to get out of the situation. But in the end, he is trying to figure out what is happening here. He wants to help. And it's a really strange change of pace. You know, we've seen Loki talking to Thanos or hanging out in Asgard with all these gods and whatever. Yet they bring in the Time Variance Authority, they bring it all down to this kind of very familiar, very universal, governmental situation where he has like a desk and a cubicle, and he's working on with papers and he's reading files. It feels very human-like what they're putting Loki through as they try to ingratiate him as a member of the Time Variance Authority. And let's talk about the Time Variance Authority. We spent a lot of time in the first two episodes with the TVA, getting to know the inner workings, getting to know who's in charge, getting to know Miss Minutes. Miss Minutes, shout out to Tara Strong, who voices the character of Miss Minutes. You know, that's why you get a talented voiceover actress like Tara Strong for a character like this, because you want it to be memorable, you want it to be funny, and you want her to find a voice that is interesting, unique, and stays with you. But there's also this real the real stakes are here. People are really dying. People who violate the laws of the Time Variance Authority are treated with some brutal punishment, or are handled with brutal methods. So all of that is there with the Time Variance Authority. So they want to keep things going a certain direction, and if you veer off or mess with the main timeline, there are some very strong consequences for you, as Loki finds out numerous times in the first two episodes of the show. This look of the show is very postmodern, right? It's got a mix of 60s, 70s, and 80s style, all kind of jumbled in here, and it completely works. A retro style, what is old is new again, and it absolutely works throughout the show, and I love that. There's some really damn good writing in the show as well, some good back and forth, some great interactions between the characters to give you a little more of what's going on between them, and you immediately attach to these characters, and you're investing in what's happening with the storylines that they lay out and present to you overall. In the second episode, I will say, keep your eagle eyes out for some great versions of Loki that we've seen in the past. There's a great scene where, and I'm not giving anything away, there's a great scene where we go and look at the multiple versions of Loki that have existed throughout the numerous timelines, which I really enjoyed. And by the way, the design of the TVA logo is spot on, chef's kiss. I'd love to get a shirt of the TVA or a jacket of the TVA. I would wear that around for sure. It's pretty awesome stuff. And I can see some people possibly cosplaying as TVA Loki once we all get back to going to cons, which hopefully is very, very soon. All right, overall, I'll tell you this. I enjoyed the heck out of the first 2 episodes of the series. If this is the vibe and this is the tenor of the show and the look of the show and the acting in the show, I'm 1,000% excited for what's to come next. This is one that a lot of us were waiting for, and I have to say, I think we're going to be satisfied. I think you all are going to be satisfied for sure about what we're getting here. And things are being laid. Remember, it's the first 2 episodes. Be patient. They're laying the groundwork. They're laying the seeds of what is going to be coming here going forward with this series. But I think there's enough here to get you excited. I think there's enough of the twists and turns to get you dialed in and connected to this show and wanting to see what happens next. So there you go. That's my overall thoughts on the first 2 episodes of Loki. It is premiering tonight, I believe, on Disney Plus as you watch this. So hopefully you enjoy it tonight at midnight or watch it tomorrow and have some fun with it. Don't forget the Geek Buddies are doing our reviews, full spoiler reviews of these episodes as well, starting tomorrow. The first episode will be without Emma Fyffe. She's preparing for E3, but starting next week, Emma Fyffe will be joining us definitely for each episode of Loki as we go forward. All right, that's it for me. Please remember to subscribe to the channel down below. Hit that like button as well. Leave a comment. Likes and comments are always much appreciated here on the Outlaw Nation, so please do that as well. And tell everybody about the stuff we're doing here on the Outlaw Nation. Spread the word and come aboard the train and have them come join the Outlaw Nation train as well. All right, much love to you all. Take care of yourselves. Enjoy the show, and we'll talk to you soon.